Good morning, everybody. It is the world's first and only dark skinned activist, Rashida Strober. I am the reason that anyone speaks on dark skin, colorism, and what I call darkism. I know for some of you, you listen to me and you say, wow, that's a big claim to make, but it's the truth. And I have written a book I've written, I've written more books on dark skin than anybody in the world. But what I've done is I've written a book called Inventing Dark Skin Activism, the Rashida Strober story, to lay down the historical foundation of how I created this lane. Because since 2015, there's been a lot of things that's happened to take away from what I've done. People have lied, people have plagiarized me. A lot of things have happened. And because I'm a student of history, literally, I have a bachelor's degree in history and a master's degree in political science. It's very important to me that if I drop dead, that people can at least have a book. They can have traces. They can have remnants of how speaking on colorism and darkism and dark skin came about, to cut through all the lies, all the people that have plagiarized me, all the people that have stolen from me. I wrote my book, Inventing Dark Skin Activism, to lay down the history. And the book is not published yet. I still am editing that book. But for those of you that want to read my books, because the thing is this, and I'm very angry about it. I'm very upset about it, and I make no bones about that. I'm a real person. I'm a real woman. I don't lie. I don't manipulate. I tell you straight up what it is, whether you like me or not. A lot of other Black women have been given credit for what I actually created, and I have a big problem with that. Celebrities. There's a celebrity that recently wrote a book about dark skin, and she didn't start talking about dark skin until after I made it pop. But because she's famous, and I'm not famous on that level, she's being given false credit for it, for just now speaking about it in 2020, and I have a big problem with that. I don't like it at all. And I don't need for other people, you don't have to speak on me. I'll tell you straight up from the horse's mouth. I don't like it and I don't respect it because it's wrong. You don't steal and take from other Black women. And I feel that Black women who've been given credit for what I created, they're victimizing me even more. I'm being victimized as a dark skinned woman even more because I created this from my heart and soul when nobody gave a fuck about it. And so I have a big problem with it. And I'm writing about all of it. I'm laying down all the history. For those of you that don't know, I created this thing called dark skin activism in 1998. It's the first platform in history before any Black woman online, before any Black woman on reality TV, before any celebrity, before they talked about what it is to be dark skinned. I created this platform in 1998. In 1998, let that sink in. At St. Petersburg College, where I was an undergraduate student, I was given the opportunity to talk about any topic during Harambe, and I did so. And that was the birth of dark skin activism. And in my book, Inventing Dark Skin Activism, I laid down that history. And all this stuff can be fact checked. Everything I'm saying can be fact checked. In fact, there was a $200 prize that was at stake for the winner of the lecture speech contest, and I actually won. And they cut me a check right at St. Pete College back in '98. Go verify it. Easily verifiable. St. Pete College is a state institution, a public institution. So, they have to keep records of these things. From that point on, I began to develop dark skin activism as a brand. It's the first brand to focus exclusively and only on dark skin. No celebrity did this. If they say they did it, they're lying. They're riding my wave, and I have a problem with that. I began to write books on only dark skin, the first to do it. I began to perform doing my plays on only dark skin, and I began to do what I call darkism talks in the community on dark skin, obviously. And I worked very hard as an independent producer, as an independent artist, to get my work known. And I was able to garner interviews in, major newspapers, and I was on television, just working very hard to call attention to my brand and this unique thing called dark skin activism and nobody cared about. The only other person I will ever give credit to is Cola Booth, because I didn't know about Cola Booth at the time, but as I did research, I found out that Cola Booth was actually speaking on colorism. So I will only give credit to Cola Booth. I don't care about anyone else that has spoken about it, except if it's a scholar. Now, Dr. Margaret Hunter and the colorism scholars, they're legitimate. Everybody else, you jumping on the bandwagon. People have came to my channel and they've stolen from my content. And that happened when I brought dark skin activism to the internet. See, people wasn't talking about colorism or dark skin before social media. I was the first to bring this brand of activism online. I created it from scratch. And Tommy Sotomayor, he was the first one to bring me on this platform, asked me to come on in 2014 to speak about dark skin activism. And I did. And I started to blow up a little bit. People was hating on me. Then in 2015, I really blew up and became internet famous. People don't want to admit that, but that's what happened. As a result of speaking about Kendrick Lamar's darkism. And I didn't know that this was going to blow up. I was doing something what I call darkism / colorism counseling. And a young lady came to me and she asked me what I thought about Kendrick Lamar, a young lady who I was actually counseling for a whole year. See, I really do this work. These other people have stolen from me because they have YouTube platforms that are big, but they haven't done the work. They're frauds and they're fakes. They've stolen from my platform. And I was really doing this work of dark skin activism through doing free colorism, darkism counseling. And a young lady came to me and she asked me about Kendrick Lamar. And I made the statement and went on about my day, and it blew up and it went viral to millions around the world. And I wasn't even trying. I was engaged in the real work of dark skin activism, and nobody online or on TV can say what I'm saying. If they do, they're listening to me and making shit up. And I can't stand frauds. If you are a liar and you steal from other Black people, you are my enemy. I don't like you. I don't care how many subscribers you got. You are my enemy, and the facts will always remain the facts. Black people online stole from my Black brand. 2015, this happened. Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club makes me donkey of the day. I go viral to millions on YouTube. People start flocking to my channel. They say, what the fuck is a dark skin activist? They never heard of anybody speak so bluntly about colorism, and they started stealing. So you have Black women online that had bigger YouTube channels than me. They studied my brand. They studied my books. They studied what I was doing, and they ripped me off and started stealing. And so you want to say, people will come to my channel and say, why do these people have more views than you? Well, I'm telling you, this is what happened. And I'm laying down all this history in my books so that if I drop dead, I want people to know, I want the world to know how colorism became a topic online. It's because of Rashida Strober. Whether you hate me or love me, I'm giving you the straight up facts. I will always tell the truth. That's one thing you're going to get from me is the truth. I don't lie. And I'm very angry about it because it's very hypocritical to send me death threats, to say what the fuck is a dark skin activist and then steal from me and change your whole channel up when you wasn't talking about colorism, when you wasn't talking about dark skin. After you hear about my work, you switch up and you don't acknowledge, you don't give credit, you simply steal. And one of the things I will be doing is when I get the money, I'm going to file a lawsuit against certain people because they have to be held accountable. And I want it on public record exactly what they've done. See, when you file a lawsuit, it becomes public. And there's a phase called discovery where you have to put out the information. How did you do this? Where'd you get this information from? So it can go on public record. So again, when I drop dead and I'm gone, I want people to know the truth. I want the public to know the truth. You're not going to take from me and think that it's going to be over. It's never over until I win. It's never over until I win because it's about truth, justice, and honesty. I told you, I have a bachelor's degree in history. And when I look at how, for example, this country was developed, there's no way in hell we're ever going to talk about the development of America without talking about the Native Americans. We're not going to erase them from history. And I'm so grateful and thankful to the historians that went back and did the research and found out the historians, the archaeologists, the people that are honest and truthful and righteous, that went back and told the truthful history of how this country got developed. And it's the same way with dark skin activism. The story is going to be told. You're not going to take it away from me. And shame on you, Black folks on YouTube, that have stolen and ripped off from my intellectual property. It's not over until I win. Now, moving right along. Let's see. We have to get that history out, y'all. I got to tell the truth here. I'm a truth teller. Don't call me the dark skin activist no more. Call me Rashida Strober, the truth teller. So it is in this vein that I speak on issues regarding darkism, like Eve, because this is an issue that is related to darkism and dark skin activism that I have been speaking on before there was YouTube, before there was social media. No one except myself and Cola Booth can say this. Everybody else is a fraud. You are not the truth. You have been stealing and taking. They've even stolen from Cola Booth. Cola Booth herself told me that they ripped her off. People have ripped her off. And I hate that, because Cola is original. And I love Cola Booth because she actually gave a damn about dark skin and colorism before anybody talked about it. And I was the first one to say that on YouTube. And then people heard me say it. And what did they do? They stole. Nobody has original thought no more. Everybody's listening to everybody's videos and they're stealing, and it's not right. And the chicken's going to come home to roost one day, y'all. Don't think for 1 minute that this is over. It's going to be some lawsuits filed, and it's going to be some people that are going to have to be held accountable. See, I believe in holding people accountable in a legal fashion, morally and legally. And don't think for 1 minute that just because it ain't happened today or yesterday or in a year. Listen, the truth never, there's no expiration date on the truth. Real quick, let's talk about my play. I got a play that was written in 2006 before there was YouTube. I've been doing this before any Black female except for Cola Booth talked about dark skin. You're not the dark skin activist. You're not me. You didn't create this lane. I wrote a play called A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge in 2006, and before there was social media. And I have been since performing this play for years, and I'm never going to stop. I'm going to do it to the day I drop dead, because this is my lane and it's what I created, and no one's ever going to stop me. And the show is going down on June 26th. I'm going to be in Atlanta. Now, you can watch this show whether you are in Atlanta or whether you are anywhere in the world, because it's through pay-per-view live stream. So those of you that are not in Atlanta, I want y'all to get tickets to the show. It is the definitive play about dark skin and colorism. If you haven't seen A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge, you should not be talking about darkism or colorism, because you don't know what you're talking about. A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge, written before all the frauds and the fakes came on social media. All the celebrities and frauds and fakes started talking about dark skin. I wrote this play in 2006 before all that. It is the definitive. I'm going to be performing on June 26th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, you can purchase the pay-per-view live stream and watch it from your home by going to my website, darkskinactivist.com. Once again, darkskinactivist.com. Get your tickets. First button is the pay-per-view. Okay. Good morning, everybody, by the way, that's watching. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate all y'all. You can go to my website, once again, darkskinactivist.com, and get your tickets. Now, the first button is for the live stream pay-per-view. And you just click that button and it'll take you to get your tickets. Very simple. If you are in Atlanta, you can come on out to the live in-person show, and you scroll on down and click the buy now button, and that will give you the ticketing information for the live in-person show. Okay. I'm going to be at a location called the White Label. And the White Label is located at 349 Decatur Street, Southeast, Unit M. Remember, it's Unit M. Now, if you come there and you're looking for it, remember I told y'all it's Unit M. So make sure we're paying attention to all of the instructions there. Now, if you are at my website, once again, it's darkskinactivist.com, darkskinactivist.com. You stroll on down, and you can also get a free copy of my book, Darkism, 25 Ways Dark-Skinned People Are Discriminated Against. Absolutely free, because I'm never going to stop on this mission to help people. A lot of things have happened to me in this walk with dark-skinned activism, but I'm not wavering from helping people, because that's what this is about at the end of the day. Now, I also want to ask y'all to support me financially, because I'm producing this play out of my own pocket. And my goal is to reach $10,000 on my GoFundMe. I haven't reached that yet. And I'm also running a Facebook fundraiser. It's very important that you guys make a donation, because I need to pay for certain expenses. I have to travel back and forth to Atlanta. That's gas, you know, that's wear and tear on my vehicle. I have to pay for the venue. I have to pay for the marketing. I have to pay for the technical stream setup. I have to pay for my tech person. I got a lot of expenses associated with making this happen. This is not easy. So I'm asking everyone that is in the sound of my voice to make sure you go to one of my financial platforms today and make a donation. You can go to my GoFundMe, which I have on the screen. You can simply Google Rashida Strober GoFundMe and it'll come up. You can go to my Cash App, which I'm going to tell you I prefer my Cash App, but I can't tell you which one to go to. It's your choice, obviously. But the reason I prefer the Cash App is because I can get access to the money immediately, and that helps me with the operating costs. Like, for example, this week I got to go to Atlanta because I have to meet with my tech person at the venue to make sure we got everything set up to bring you guys the show. So I am in need of funding. Please go make a donation. My Cash App is $Rashida Lala. Once again, $Rashida Lala. If I could raise at least $1,000 this week, that would put me in a wonderful position financially with this production to, again, pay for all these expenses. It's always expenses associated with producing the show. Folks, this is not free. I know y'all think that this may look easy because y'all see me come online and talk, but I'm in the business of doing. Coming on YouTube and talking is easy. When you got to produce and make moves, that requires funding. So make a donation. It's very, very important. All right, so let me get to Eve, the rapper. Now, folks, I came out of the generation of the 90s. I was a teenager in the 90s. Let's get to Eve. And Eve was one of the rappers that came up out of the 90s. And I'm an honest person, which y'all know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I was a fan of Eve. I was not a fan of Eve. Now, that does not mean that I don't want Eve to be successful. She's a black woman. I'm happy when a black woman makes it. I wasn't a fan of Eve simply because I just didn't feel if y'all watching me and you really understand the dark skin activist, you know I was a fan of Lauryn Hill. She's the one that captured my attention the most because she was super talented. Like, Lauryn Hill possesses this otherworldly rap talent and singing talent that is just phenomenal. Lyrically, Foxy Brown, lyrically, Lil' Kim, lyrically. I am a person that is a fan of raw talent. That's what I like. I don't like mediocrity. And if you got, I don't care what color you are, if you got raw talent, I'm like, let's go. Lauryn had it. Foxy had it. They all still have it, of course. Lil' Kim had it. That's what it was for me. So I just never felt Eve like that. And I'm not going to sit up here and make up lies and say that I did. I'm not going to do that just to appease people. So, but she came out of the 90s. That's what it was. And she had music that obviously people were fans of her music. Okay. I believe she was in the Rough Rider, DMX's crew, which DMX, I am a fan of DMX. Love me some DMX. DMX got that raw talent that cannot be denied. I don't care what he been through. DMX is in my top 5. How's It Going Down is one of my favorite songs ever. Yeah, you ain't have a dark-skinned woman as the lead, but DMX, I love me some DMX. Oh my God. Don't get me started on DMX. I'm a fan. Now, I would love it, y'all, if y'all would like this video, share this video. Don't just sit here and listen to the dark-skinned activists. Y'all love my content. Y'all enjoy it. Share it. Okay? So she was in the Rough Rider crew. And, DMX, I don't know how that went down. I don't know how it came about, y'all. I don't know. But she ended up in the Rough Rider crew, dropped some albums. To me, she kind of went mainstream. Ebony Knowledge talking about the whole pit bull in the skirt. I wasn't feeling that. I just wasn't. See, when Lauryn, it was something about the authenticity. Let me bring up Lauryn Hill. I just can't talk about these rappers in the 90s without talking about the great Lauryn. It was something about the authenticity of Lauryn Hill and the Fugees that I just couldn't. Their fucking authenticity was just phenomenally brilliant. Lauryn Hill, I don't know, it's the dark skin, obviously. Fuck. The Fugees were just epic. Epic. Fucking epic. I can't put my finger on it. But Lauryn is in a class all by her damn self. She came out with one fucking album, The Miseducation. Man, sometimes I would sit there and listen to The Miseducation from the Fugees and I boo-hoo cry like a baby because it touched the depths of my soul. There are no words to describe the greatness of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill is in the Fugees, they on the level of Donny Hathaway. Nobody's fucking with Donny Hathaway. He's dead and gone. But nobody's fucking with Donny Hathaway on that level of musical genius. And that's how I felt about. I can't even put it into words. There's no fucking words. Ineffable. Ineffable. Y'all call her Lauryn Hill. I call her Lauryn the Great. Okay. So when I look at other female rappers from the 90s, there's the measuring stick is Lauryn Hill. And Foxy lyrically is on par. Look Him is on par. I love them, but it's just like Lauryn is just, there was something about Lauryn Hill. Maybe it's the fact that she was an intellectual, very intelligent. And I like smart people with ethics and morals and depth. And Lauryn loves Black people. She's a pro-Black woman, the real kind. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it was. And then, Pras, I had this huge crush on Pras. I had this huge crush on Pras. Pras to me is like, God, this man is just so handsome. That's Pras on the right hand side. Like, I was in love with Pras. Like, oh my fucking God, Pras. There you go. I don't know. My ex-husband kind of reminds me of Pras. Tall, slim, handsome, just got that quiet, intellectual swag that's just like, whoa, I love it. And the forerunner to the Fugees, in my humble opinion, was I got to give a shout out to Diggable Planets. Okay. Diggable Planets. All right. Cool like that. Y'all remember Diggable Planets? Shout out to Diggable Planets, man. Thank y'all for making Black conscious music. And yeah, she light skinned. Yeah, she light skinned. I don't care. Love me some Diggable Planets. Okay, I got to pay homage to Diggable Planets. Love, 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 love their music. I mean, it's an understatement when I tell y'all how much I love their music. But you know what? I hate to put this battle up and go, who do I love more, Diggable Planets or the Fugees? Look at that cover, y'all. That cover, epic. Epic. We should have a Lauryn Hill day as far as or Fugees day. I mean, I just, there's no words. Okay, let me stop going on and on about how much I love Lauryn Hill and Fugees and, you know. All right. But I was just trying to put in context for you guys the era that Eve the rapper came out of and why I just adore you know, Lauryn Hill, and I just couldn't get into when you listen, the miseducation in the Fugees album was a whole education. It was a whole fucking university. When you come about that university, you can't dance with nothing mediocre. You just can't do that. But of course, Eve gonna have her fans. I ain't mad. Get your money, Eve. Get your money. Get your money, honey. I ain't mad at you at all. I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad. Okay. Let's keep moving right along, folks. All right. So, okay, let's go talk about Eve. Now, Eve recently, in the wake of the George Floyd murders, may George Floyd always rest in peace. I'm so glad that we get injustice for George Floyd. Y'all know I've been at the protests. I've been on the ground, hitting the ground running, doing what I do before the internet existed. I've been a dark-skinned activist, been fighting for Black people. I'm never going to stop. Rest in peace to George Floyd. So in the wake of the George Floyd murders, Eve, she jumped on the train and she spoke on the social impact that George Floyd's murder has had on, I guess, her marriage. And I'm going to read an article from BET, as you guys can see. And it's entitled, Why Eve is Having Uncomfortable Talks with Her White Husband. And by the way, Eve is actually one of the hosts on the show, The Talk. Okay. So let's read over what Eve had to say. Eve, and this was published 3 days ago, written by BET staff. So I like to give homage and I like to give recognition to people that write articles because I don't want nobody stealing from me. So I always like to give respect that's due to whoever writes an article. There's no person's name on here, so it just says written by BET staff. So Eve is opening up about her marriage to Maximilian Cooper in response to the tragic police killing of George Floyd and the series of nationwide protests that have followed. The co-host of the talk opened up about the dialogue she is having in their home during the Tuesday, June 2nd episode. Marrying the British entrepreneur in 2014, the rapper and actress is also the stepmother to Cooper's 4 children from a previous marriage. I am this is what she said in quotes. I am in an interracial relationship. I am having some of the most difficult and uncomfortable conversations I think I've ever had, and vice versa with my husband, Eve shared. But at the same time, it's a beautiful thing because I don't know his life through his eyes. He doesn't know my life through my eyes. All he can do is try to understand and try to ask the questions, and he wants to understand. And that's what that's what the world has to do. It's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable, but we have to be okay with being uncomfortable so that we can get to a solution. Eve praised protesters who are fighting for racial and social justice. And this is in quotes. She said, there are some people that are having beautiful, peaceful protests with their fists in the air and their hands in the air and all different colors and genders all together on one knee, wanting to get past this. That's what actually keeps me from getting too emotional. But She did also make it clear on the tone of where she thinks the nation currently is, leaving her audience with some powerful words saying, "We are under rock bottom. The only thing we can do now is to build up. I pray that we can build up from here." BET has been covering every angle of George Floyd's death in police custody, other social justice cases, and the subsequent aftermath and protests. For continuing coverage, click here. All right, so that's the article. Now, Eve, what you need to understand, and one thing I could say, at least she's not doing what Trina did. She did not call the protesters animals, okay? I'll give you credit for that, not bashing the protesters. Nobody should be bashing the protesters at all. And I'm talking about the black ones. I'm going to say the same thing I said before, and I'm not relenting. I don't have a problem with white people helping. I got no problem with that. I was in the Uhuru movement. If you know anything about the Uhuru movement, shout out to the chairman, Omar Yashitella. I love you to death, chairman. I love you to death. White people were in the organization, but white people knew their place. They weren't out there trying to control things. They was behind the scenes helping with the money, and that's what you should be doing. You can't have black people have got to run their own protests, their own liberation. Okay? I ain't got no problem with that, but y'all can't be leading it. We are the ones that's oppressed. We got to stand up and fight for our own justice. But I will give you credit, Eve. You did not sit there and bash the protesters like Trina did. I'll never be able to respect that. Do not talk bad about the protesters. We're not going to do that. Because I was a protester for years, and I'm not an animal. I've been fighting for black justice before there was social media with the Uhuru movement. So we're not bashing the protesters. But let me tell you something, Eve. What I want you to understand, and what I want all the swirlers to understand. Let's get this real clear. Swirling is not going to solve the problem. And I'm not saying that she's saying it's going to. I'm not saying it. I'm just opening up a larger issue here that I see, because I believe that some people, and I've seen this when I was at the protest rallies, and it hurt my heart. I seen some of the black men. I saw this, and I didn't say this, but I'm saying it now. They came out with their non-black girlfriends and significant others, and they didn't acknowledge me. They kind of looked at me in a way that to just like brush me off. And this is the shit I've been going through for years down here in Florida. And I don't like that. I don't like to be looked at by black men and being written off by them and not acknowledged because you're not with a black woman. Don't do that. Don't come to a protest that I'm out here on the front lines fighting for you, and I've been doing it for years. Don't do that to me. There's a lot of issues here. A lot of elephants in the room here that we're not talking about. But I'm going to talk about this. What y'all got to understand, just because y'all in an interracial relationship, that's not going to change the facts of history. It's not going to erase the facts of history. It's not going to erase the destruction that has occurred between the black, and I'll bring it all back to the relationship that has been, I feel, that's under attack between the black man and the black woman and the dark-skinned black woman and the black man. I want my men back. I want my communities back. It's not enough for you to come out and protest. I want the black man back. And interracial dating and marriage is not going to solve the injustice that has taken place in this country since the dawn of chattel slavery. In fact, I see it as running away. You're trying to put a Band-Aid over the problem, and you're not going to be able to do that. That's why, Eve, that's why the conversation is difficult. That's why you're having a hard time having these conversations with your husband, because interracial dating and swirling is like a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid. It's a psychological Band-Aid to the effects, the psychological effects of slavery and darkism and racism and oppression. You want to run away from it. And I believe her husband is a billionaire. Okay, you live in a posh lifestyle now. You getting money. I ain't mad at you for that. Listen, I love for Black people to get fucking money. Let me tell you something. I love that shit. I don't like seeing Black oppression. I don't like seeing Black people in poverty. Y'all got it all fucking wrong. Get the fucking money, but also don't ever forget that there are tons of Black people right now that's living in oppression. What about them getting the money? And that's why I gotta say respect to Bob Johnson, because he talked about we need to get the reparations. And I believe he said a number. Every Black person should get X amount of dollars, because it's all tied into economics. And it's all tied into bringing those economics back to the Black community. And I would like to see the Black man and the Black woman come back together, because Eve, you just one Black woman that got out, sweetie. What about the scores of other Black men and women that's still there? Shout out to you for living your posh lifestyle, sweetie. Shout out to you, Kanye West. You live in a posh lifestyle, and you hurt me more, Kanye West, because you're a Black man. I want you to be with a Black woman. You took your wealth and you building with a non-Black woman, honey. But you were supposed to, and you love Lauryn Hill so much. You love Black women music so much, Kanye West. Why you couldn't build with a Black woman? That shit hurt me to my core. It hurts me to my fucking core. It upsets me to my fucking core, because they think that Swirling is going to erase history, but they still in pain. Because when something like George Floyd, shout out to George Floyd, I love you, may you rest in peace. You Black, you dark skinned, they did you dirty. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I sat there and I watched that video millions of times. And that's what haunts people like Eve. And it haunts people like Kanye West. When you have to sit there and watch what happened to George Floyd, that happened to millions of slaves and in the American dark-skinned Indians. It haunts y'all. It ain't going to erase that. It ain't your interracial marriages and your swirling is ain't going to erase that. It ain't going to erase it. It's still in your face. Man, my soul is just fucked up this morning. These people think that because they can go live their posh lifestyles and their beautiful lives. That's why I can't rock with Trina no more. I'm done with Trina, y'all. And she sat up there and she called the protesters animals. You can't be calling the protesters animals. What about the people that enslaved Africans, dark-skinned Africans, and killed off the Indian? What about that, Trina? What about that, Trina? You can't do that. You can't do that, because if you're going to call them animals, sweetie poo, if you're going to call them animals, you better call the imperialist animals. You better call the colonizers animals. You better call the slave masters animals. Trina, hold up. We're not going to do that. I'm done with Trina. I'm done with Trina. I'm done with Trina on the basis of what she did. She shouldn't have did that. She shouldn't have did that. She shouldn't have did that. Finish with her. Well, Caramel, 20,000. If that's true, then he needs to come back to Black. If that's in fact the truth, Kanye West needs to come back to Black. Find your way back to Black. We're so confused in this society, in this post-racial society, y'all. We think that we cannot find love amongst our own people. It's not the truth. There's millions of Black people on earth. You can find love. Just because you have, let me get off Trina, because I'm just, her comments were so disgusting. I'm done with her. Shout out to Diggable Planets. Love Lauryn Hill and the Fugees. adore them. We think that I don't know Eve's dating history like that. I believe she did date, didn't she date Stevie J, y'all? I believe she dated Stevie J. But some of us, we might think that we can't find black love. This society got us so confused that some of us just give up on finding black love. We give up on each other. You know, we have one bad experience, one bad relationship, and we say, I'm done with a black man, or I'm done with a black woman. Make sure y'all liking this video and sharing this video. Like and share. Support in that way. If you can't donate, I understand that. I get it. I know times is hard. People not working, coronavirus got people not working. I get it. I'm not mad. But make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. You know, don't give up on black love. Think about this, y'all. There are millions of black people all around the world. And with the internet, yeah, you can expand your dating horizons now. And I don't know what was in Eve's head when she decided that she was going to date and marry her current husband. But I do know one thing, that I know that there's millions of black people around the world, and I don't think that we should give up on finding a black mate. We should not give up on finding a black mate. I don't care what you have to do. You can go, you can find date, in your social circle, at the gym, the library, traveling. It's so many different ways of meeting people, meeting a mate. And then just, I'm a big proponent of letting God lead you. Letting God lead you. Because what's for you is for you. But don't give up on black love. Don't write a black man or a black woman off, because somebody said it's a revolutionary act to stay with your black man and your black woman. And I believe that to my core. To my core. Because in this day and age, it just seems like black men and women are being encouraged not to be with each other. And I don't understand that. Rhetorically, I say that. I actually do understand it, but y'all know what I mean. You look around at the media, you look around on the internet, you look around on television, magazines, you could even be driving down the street, and you don't see black couples in the media being paired with each other no more. Or if you see it, it's limited. And there just seems to be this attack on the black family in terms of, how do you create a black family? You have to have a black woman and a black man coming together to create one. And I just want the young people specifically to understand that there is nothing wrong with being with a black man or a black woman. Don't let these people fool you. If you go back to our history and you understand how we got to this position, you should be running to a black man or a black woman. If you understand that black men and black women, the families were divided with slavery. When these people came to enslave us, we were divided. They tore apart families. You understand me? How would you feel if your whole fucking family was just ripped apart and torn apart? Do y'all understand the gravity of that? I did a live with brother Sonetta. Shout out to Sonetta. Love you to death for having me on your platform. Shout out to my brother King Kevin Dorable, who's of Haitian descent. We talked about darkism in Haiti. Make sure y'all go to King Kevin Dorable's channel and subscribe. Please go to King Kevin Dorable's channel and subscribe on YouTube. And one of the slaves, I can't remember his name, but he started one of the first revolts. And also Toussaint Louverture, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Their fathers came from royalty. Let's talk about how they was ripped apart from the families over in Africa. And that's one of the things, that's why I love the Haitians. I fucking love you Haitians. I fucking adore y'all for fighting. Because y'all understood this ain't our rightful place. This ain't what we ain't supposed to be enslaved. Y'all got it. Respect to the Haitian Revolution. I have an immense amount of respect for them dark-skinned brothers and sisters over there. Man, y'all have no idea how much I love my Haitian brothers and sisters for the fight. I love all my Black people in the African diaspora, but I respect our brothers and sisters that have fought for their freedom and understood that this ain't my rightful place. My rightful place was to be with my brothers and sisters. Respect to the brothers and sisters that fought in the Haitian Revolution, because you are symbolic of Black freedom. You are symbolic of the fact that Black people are born free. We are supposed to be free. They understood this intrinsically. And I love these brothers and sisters, man. There's no words to describe how much I love my Haitian brothers and sisters. They inspire me to no end. Y'all inspire me to no end to keep the fight up. To keep the fight up for Black love. And if these people understood history, if y'all understood, even when we look at our sister Harriet Tubman, look at Harriet Tubman. Man, I love me some Harriet Tubman, man. Love me some Harriet Tubman. Love this dark-skinned woman. I love you, Harriet Tubman, with all my heart and soul. Because you understood we're supposed to be free. And you understood Black love. She understood Black love. She was willing to fucking die for Black love. It don't get no better than that. It don't get no fucking realer than that. Eve, you ain't gonna erase. Swirling is not going to erase. That's why you have to have these uncomfortable conversations, because you know deep down in your soul that your marriage, your interracial marriage, is not going to erase historical fact. It's not going to happen. That's not how it works. Love you, Harriet Tubman. Love you with all my heart and soul. You donated that money, Kanye West, to George Floyd's beautiful Black, all the way Black girl, little girl. And I'm so glad that you did that, because that little girl gonna be set for the rest of her life. And I'm so fucking pissed that it had to happen under these circumstances, because I watched that video of George Floyd. My daughter wanted to see it. And I didn't want Lauren to see it. But I let Lauren see it, because she got to understand how to, she gonna grow up. George Floyd calling for his mama. George Floyd kept saying he couldn't breathe. That shit is sick in my fucking soul. But George Floyd represents millions of Black people that have gone through that. The slaves, some of the enslaved Africans, the brother King Kevin, he said, don't call them slaves. You right, brother King Kevin Dorable. I'm listening to what you said, our brother King Kevin Dorable. Shout out to King Kevin Dorable. He said to me when we were doing the live on Darkest in Haiti. Our brother King Kevin Dorval said, don't call them slaves. He said they're enslaved. And he's right. So what I meant to say is when the enslaved, when they was bringing them over from Africa, our brothers and sisters over from Africa, some of them fucking loved freedom so much they jumped over into that water and they fucking died. They said, I'd rather be dead than to go into an unnatural state of enslavement. Y'all, let that fucking sink in. Let that fucking sink in. Let that sink in. And while y'all letting that sink in, I'm gonna drop our brother King Kevin Dorval. Y'all make sure y'all go to his website. Support. Okay? He's of Haitian descent. And that's why you feel guilty. Kanye West, you are the descendant of the enslaved. And you know you're supposed to be with a black woman. You know that. And that's why you feeling guilty. That's why you gave that money. Because you probably having a war within yourself right now. Because you know that interracial marriage and dating is not going to fucking solve or is not going to erase the remnants of history, the impact of history. It ain't going to erase it. You know this within yourself. They got you, yeah. But it's always going to be this gnawing feeling. And I know you ain't going to never be truly happy. That's why you had to go to the protest. That's why you had to donate that money. Breonna Taylor, Black Breonna Taylor, a black woman. Breonna Taylor, a black woman. Breonna Taylor, a black woman, is haunting you, Kanye West. That's why you had to donate to her legal defense fund. Right? Kanye? Oh, I would love to sit down and have a talk with him. Let me tell y'all, I would love to sit down and have a talk with Kanye West. Oh, fuck. Y'all, that would be an absolute dream come true to address the darkism among black men who decide that they're not going to date and marry a black woman. I would love to talk to you, Kanye West. I'm easy to find. And you just a human being. All this shit about celebrities not being on people level, yes, they is. Bullshit. They human beings. They ass gonna die one day and they ain't gonna be able to take none of the fucking money with them, just like every fucking body else. They're not no different than me. Fuck that. Nope. We ain't doing that. Because some of y'all will say, oh, why would he talk to you? Who are you? No. He gonna die one day like me. We both gonna return to the earth. Both of us. Both of us gonna return to the earth. So give me that interview, Kanye West. I would love to sit down and talk to you. Let's read some of what the chat got to say here. Lioness of Judah said, I love my Haitians too. They kicked the colonizers' ass. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Ebony Knowledge says, some are saying we are crazy, mammies, etc., for still supporting Black love. It's shaking my head. Well, I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would I not support the children that came out of my womb? It doesn't make any sense. Understanding the historical processes of slavery, oppression, colonization, imperialism, why would I not support my own people? That does not make sense. Doesn't make any sense. These people are lost. They need to go and get their mind right. They're lost. They feel lost. They're confused. That's a bunch of confusion. It's a new narrative that has came out of dysfunction. You got to understand where these people are coming from. It's dysfunctional. Doesn't make any sense. It's post-racial dysfunction. Raydell Brown said, I love Water Sniper's videos because he continually shows the Black love, Black families. Absolutely. Caramel King 20,000 says, Black love got replaced by white materialism. I think you make an excellent point. Shout out to the vegan athletes. Finger Coils, good morning to you. Andre Delaney, shout out to you. You said Trina was uneducated on what was happening. And that's, it's really sad because she has all this money. She got time. She can educate herself. There's no excuse. It's no excuse for what she said. I'm not going to give her no pass. She said that because that's what she felt in her heart. I mean, what comes out of a person's mouth is what they be feeling in their heart. I mean, there's no excuse for what she said. I think she meant every word. Ebony Knowledge said Eve was nice, Rashida. Okay. Hey, everybody got their opinion. I'm not mad at you. The Queen is Within says, girl, shut up. Talk about the history of Black men owning slaves and selling their own women. And you know what? You're absolutely right. We got to speak on the good and the bad, the ugly of history. You're right. That did happen. And they are absolutely wrong. I denounce every single Black person that sold another Black person in history. Shame on them. And I denounce them for that. You are absolutely right. You're not going to get any argument with me on that because I'm an honest person. You're right. And that's a huge contradiction. And that irks my soul as well because it was wrong what they did. Good morning, Ramon Bonton. I ain't seen you in a while. Good morning. Yes, Marco Polo. Shout out to you. You're right. Deej Talbert. Good morning. Thank you for all of your support. I love you and I appreciate you. You said I hate that the MSN haven't given you interviews. People want to end racism while clinging to darkism/colorism. Absolutely. And you cannot do it. We have to recognize that darkism is playing a major role in the destruction of Black communities in terms of marrying and dating. We got to marry and date each other. Shout out to you, Water Sniper. It's time to marry and date each other. And darkism plays a major role in who gets married and who gets dated. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to open the eyes of the Black man and the Black woman, whether they be young, old, it doesn't matter. To understand that there's no crime in date. In fact, when we date and marry each other, we help to end darkism. We help to end racism. And when you see events happening, like what's going on with the protests, spearheaded by the murder of George Floyd, that lets us know that just because you swirl, that doesn't solve the problem of darkism and racism. Okay, George Floyd, may he rest in peace. Everybody is saying his fiance was a non-Black woman, but that didn't prevent him from being murdered by the police. It did not prevent it, Eve. It did not prevent it, Kanye West. It didn't prevent it. So that go to show you right there. Swirling doesn't solve the problem, the historical problem of darkism and racism. George Floyd was with a white woman, and it didn't solve the problem. It didn't stop him from being murdered. But all you celebrities out there, all you swirlers out there that seem to think that you are going to run away and get away from discrimination and darkism because you swirl, you can look at the example of George Floyd here, and it didn't happen for him. And he wasn't a famous person. So you famous, and you think for 1 minute, your little bit of money that you can't take with you when you leave this earth, it might shelter you a bit. You know, taking me back to Trina, where she talked about in her rant, when she called the protesters animals, she went on and on about how she got her license, tag, and registration, and she ain't worried if the police stops her. This woman is insane. She's just crazy. She was hollering about how, God, I hate to get back on her again, but I mean, she made these stupid comments, and some of the stuff she said is relevant to what I am talking about. So, you know, rapper Trina. This woman went on about how she got her little tag registration and stuff. Child. Do you know how many black people be having their tag registration and all their papers legit and straight? That does not stop the police from doing what they're gonna do, honey. You just slap everybody in the face, every black person in the face that's driving down the street innocently, got pulled over by the police and got killed by the police. Lioness of Judah, thank you. Lioness of Judah said, Philando Castile had all that and still got shot. There go Philando Castile right there. Thank you, Lioness of Judah. Trina. You don't know now. I said you don't know now. Explain this. Explain Philando Castile, Trina. May he rest in peace. Philando Castile, rest in peace. Shot this man. Innocent. This is fucked up, man. This shit right here. I'm finna get off here because I'm starting to get angry. And I don't want to start cursing and really just get going off because this is just making me pissed off. This man was innocent. Ain't did nothing to nobody. And this man was murdered, Philando Castile, by the police. I'm done. I'm done. Y'all have a wonderful day. World's first and only dark-skinned activist, Rashida Strober. Swirling is not going to erase history. I'm done.